Hello and welcome back to Gale 60 Plays Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. We're currently in Area 3 on our trek to get our second of the 3 Pokemon from Mount Battle for doing all 100 battles in a single run without quitting. Last time I accidentally went too far into Area 3 and triggered the first battle. Oops! And talked about things of what potentially next on the docket. Though there are a number and what potentially might be showing up again. I need to get back to the Tears of the Kingdom and whatnot. Xenoblade 1 is currently resurfacing because I might as well be able to do everything. And what happened? So, back to going through tutorial areas that are way too underleveled for my current aim. Of course. Bless me on that, but oops. What? I could at least be showing off some additional Pokemon. But Altaria is almost about to gain a level, so we're gonna leave it this way for now. Just to see where Pokemon are sitting for this specific team. It would at least make it interesting. Flashy and a Quack. Not the most dangerous enemies in the world, Pokemon in the world, but not, especially with a level difference of close to 40. Yeah, there's Altaria at level 52. There's always the chance Dragon Breath could miss. Might as well make sure I choose the right move. Okay, now that that's occurred, let's show off this pair. Not necessarily pair, but, you know, set of 2 Pokemon. And how they're standing in their moves. So, this is Articuno, pretty much, unchained from its, capture and purification. Because quite literally free of its moves, or unique. You cannot regain those moves if you get rid of them, so might as well keep them if you have one. Not like I have 6 copies of the goddamn bird. Like, I have 6 copies of this bird, I better not care. But yeah, pretty good, other than the fact that you're not really going to see most of its moves at this current moment. And then T-Tar. Now, I do have to be careful with, my Tyranitar as the battles go on. Because some of these guys like using Dugtrio. Now, let's just say I already had pain trying to get Tyranitar to 70, dealing with a Dugtrio. So, gotta be careful with the T-Tar. It's not gonna be this low level, but it will occur. So anyway, now that that's shown, this is probably how I'll probably handle it. Lugia and Articuno, Tyranitar and Claydol, because that worked. And then Altaria and Blissey will just be kind of like filled as needed. Because there are just that many Pokemon. I think this is the right choice. Granted, maybe by that point it won't be too much of a issue, though it's only because it's an evasion ability. That's like, maybe be careful. You never know what's gonna occur. I hope Blissey and, I'm actually gonna check this out. This team does have some decently bulky Pokemon. Look at this, this. So I'm hoping by the time I get to the higher areas, I'm not worrying too much, but the issue is a lot of them are going to be a lot more drawn out than I'd like, and there are platforms that are a pain, as mentioned last time, or during the last climb. You have at least two, if I remember correctly, explosion battlers right in the vicinity of the last areas of Area 9 and Area 10. Just through. And those are ones that you want to get through as quickly as possible. And I don't think this team is probably going to let me get through them easily. Which I can say, thankfully, at least I still have some revive and for adjustment. And hopefully, Petar can at least survive too. Hopefully, all of my team can at least survive too. It's a better way to put it. But Petar especially because it's resistant to normal type. It's not as going to be as resistant as Aggron. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's good enough. And hopefully resistant enough. Oh, it's G1 with 4 Pokemon too. Oh no. It's only the perfect. For some reason I just randomly popped extra 4 and an extra Pokemon. at least looks like my Pokemon are still getting some decent levels for doing so. But if Area 3 down, I am going to swap to Lugia as my secondary main, always on field main for a little bit. No. Wrong Pokemon. Because technically I do want to get Lugia to 77 for a specific reason. Whatever that reason is might come up sooner rather than later. Granted, I've noticed sometimes the level for learning certain moves doesn't match up with some of the guides, so I'm not completely sure with the guide I'm using. I say this because a different Pokemon or a Pokemon I just tried leveling learned a move it should have learned at like 77 and it learned it at oops. But Lugia does have a move I want to learn, and hopefully we can get it to a level where it might be able to learn it. But that is for later. And that is it for Area 3, Round 2, or technically Area 13. It's on to technically Area 14 for the next lap in what is traditionally Area 4. With that being said, that is it for today. Thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye!